joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So, last time we talked about the bullying issues that were going on with Gabe, your son, as well as Lauren. And some of the original concerns that you had were in regards to bullying that was occurring that you were seeing on Facebook and social media. And then we talked about the bullying that was occurring in the schools. Last time we talked, we had suggestions about you and your wife talking about volunteering, as well as possibly talking to the child's mom. Tell me how things are going currently.
She's still having her moments where she gets bullied or picked on, or occasionally just, as you could say, physically assaulted. But it's gotten a lot better. We've shown our presence more at school, mainly just eating lunch with her. But the kids in her class see that we are there, and it's at random. It's not every single day or whatnot, so they never know when we will be there. The teacher actually talked to the child's parents and got them more involved due to one incident that had happened recently. And the child actually wrote our daughter an apology letter. So, and we haven't had any incidents since. So, we'll see how it goes from there.
Tell me about the incident that occurred recently.
They were in PE, and the same kid who's been picking on her for a good minute now had hit her in the neck with a hula hoop.
No.
And it left a big bruise. And when she went to go see the nurse, she told her about everything that he had done in the past as far as the previous school year when she was in kindergarten, and things this year that he has done physically towards her. So that kind of opened up the whole worm of this is what's actually happening. So her actually saying, hey, this has happened to me, I think that got more results than us saying, hey, she's constantly getting picked on, what's going to be done.
Has the classroom setting changed at all?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. And how did Lauren handle the apology letter or the note that was sent home from the other child?
She was really surprised about it. We were surprised as well, but at the same time, we could tell that the child's parents weren't exactly happy when they found out everything that he did. And I know once we found out, all the individual events that had happened, we were very angered by it, and at the same time confused as to why it was continuously happening and nothing was being done about it.
So it sounds like you were really frustrated, more so than just angry. You were frustrated that nothing had happened for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
How is it that the other parents were just as frustrated if their child was the one doing this? Were they not aware?
I can only assume that they weren't aware. It seemed more of the school was trying to handle it internally without it sourcing out, which sometimes it needs to go to the parents' attention in order for the problem to get solved, because if it doesn't, then we're just going to continuously be frustrated at hey, this happened again, or it happened again, or something new happened.
So tell me, has the bus changed at all?
From what our daughter's told us, it's changed. She's a lot happier on the bus. She hasn't had any issues as of yet, but things are subject to change. But as of right now, it's on a good track record. So
I understand frustrations with the bus because currently my son is having frustrations on the bus as well. Do you feel like the bus driver is making the process from getting from school to home an easy transition for your daughter?
I don't. I'd probably go for every other kid on there. I believe she sees it more as this is my job. I just need to get them from point A to point B, and then I'm done. Not so much of, hey, I need to do this on the bus. If this happens, I need to take these steps in order to accomplish whatever outcome is needed. And that alone is frustrating, I'm sure, for not just myself, but you as well, and any other parent that's undergoing those scenarios.
Now, I know with my own situation, I have talked to the school in regards to things that have happened on the bus. Is that something that you and your wife have done?
We haven't. The incidents on the bus haven't been as great. But if they got worse, that would definitely be the good route to go. Because can't get anywhere without saying anything, and then we're frustrated, and we have nobody to blame but ourselves if we don't do anything about it actively.
Yes. Tell me how going to eat lunch with your kiddos has been going for you.
It's been going really good. It's definitely a good experience. You know, it kind of breaks her out of her normal routine of school, and
Mhm.
she gets really excited when we come up there. The very first time we did, she didn't know what to do. She was excited the entire time,
Yeah.
telling everybody, "Hey, my mommy and daddy's here." So, but she really loves it, and I mean, we love it as well. It might not be that much time up there, but every time is great.
So it sounds like that, 20 minutes of spending time with your daughter throughout the day, just at random, has made a very big difference. It's made some positive changes with how you guys feel as well as how she feels.
Yeah.
Now, tell me how things are going with your son.
He's doing pretty good. I haven't had any issues with him. He seems to be going through a little growth spurt or stage where he gets cranky easily, but other than that, I haven't had any issues with him. He's still a happy little camper.
Mhm.
So,
Has there been an incident lately that makes you feel like he's going through a growth spurt or a stage, as you call it?
not that we're really aware of. We don't know where it's exactly coming from. We think the only reason we think it's a growth spurt is because the only time he really gets angry and cranky is when he's tired. And when he gets tired more frequently, generally he goes through a growth spurt and gets taller or something. But, I mean, that's the only conclusion we can come up with as of yet. And his therapists are, trying to give their input as well as to what could be, causing his tantrums.
So last time you and I talked, we talked about your wife also expecting. Has there been any changes in behavior with your daughter or your son in regards to your new addition?
Not as of yet. Well, our daughter, I guess you could say, she has a little baby doll that she's been playing with a lot more. And
Mhm.
I mean, it's nice because it almost like she's prepping herself for, her second brother and or sister.
Mhm.
And she's just, kind of going along with it, saying, hey, look, I'm ready for it. And it's actually really exciting and fun to see. And I mean, sometimes, yeah, it's like, okay, you need to put it down. But overall, it's really nice to see her taking that kind of role and responsibility well before the child even do.
And can you tell me how far along your wife is right now?
I believe last we talked, she's about 11 weeks. So I mean, she still has a decent way to go.
She does. But for your daughter to be so excited right now and to embrace this change positively, that just shows good signs for the future
Yes.
to come. She's preparing herself as well as you guys are preparing her for this change that could essentially impact your family. And as long as you guys are preparing for such a change in a positive way, hopefully the negative side will be to a minimum.
Yeah.
So, are you guys preparing for how your son will handle this situation?
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of a lone ranger on his own to begin with,
Mhm.
so we can only assume that he's gonna just kind of continue to do his own thing. But once he or she gets here,
Mhm.
then it'll be accepted in his daily routine, and I don't think his demeanor will change any.
He's a pretty happy-go-lucky kid.
He's very happy.
Yeah. Do you have any concerns about the new baby coming?
Um, my biggest thing would probably be how Gabe would respond, but at the same time, like I said, I think he would just more or less, it, when he or she actually gets here, he'll learn to okay, this is one of us. He's part of our family, or she, and whatever his routine is or schedule, it's just gonna get flowed in with his, and it'll all incorporate together, and he'll still be a happy camper.
So, what it sounds like you're saying is you're not exactly sure how he's going to respond. You hope that he's going to be open minded and positive to this new change, but kind of apprehensive. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it.
Okay. Just unknown. And that's big change.
Yeah, it is.
A big change. Are there any other changes that are occurring in your lives right now?
Um, Not at the moment. I just attending schools. We're trying to move into a bigger house, so I'm sure that could play a stressor if it doesn't happen in the time frame in which we would like. But it's one of those things we have to remain positive regardless.
Now, the main issue that brought you in here originally was the bullying.
Yes.
Moving to a new home, can you tell me how that's going to affect school for your kids?
Potentially, she could go to a different school, which would be a obviously new environment. Um, so it could either potentially get worse or better. It's one of those taking a 50-50 gamble on how it'll actually turn out. But the school in which she would attend, our son attended summer school there and had absolutely no issues. He really progressed in the 3 weeks he was there. So I can only assume or hope that she would undergo the same circumstances.
So you have a positive experience from that school before.
Yes.
So continuing in pattern, hoping that this will be a positive experience. Have you prepared your daughter for the possible change in school?
Yes. And I think it made it a little easier with all the negative things that were happening at her current school, that she was very accepting to going to a new school. So.
Have you asked her if she wants to go to a new school, or have you given her that option?
Not directly. Yeah, I guess this is more teeter-tottering because we don't know when we would actually move. And if they, in turn, would say, okay, well, you need to switch schools now, or just let her ride out the school year at her current school. So, no, we never actually directly asked her if she was willing or what she thought about it.
Can you tell me whether you would like her to change that school or continue where she's at?
If the problems can be solved, I understand, that not every problem can be solved to the best. But if there's no more bullying issues and everything's more centered on the academics of why all the kids are there, then I wouldn't have any issues with her finishing the school year there.
It sounds like her staying there and finishing this school year might confront the bullying issues that are continuing. Although they've gotten a little bit better, you don't want to just run from the situation. And so you guys allowing her to finish school there, being that supportive, showing your face, might do some good for the bully. He might see that she's not going to just run. She's going to continue to be at school.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because if we did just up and leave, whether it was by choice or, the schools were like, hey, you need to switch her just because you moved, who's to say he's not just going to start preying on somebody else? So.
Now, is there a possibility for when you do move that you could request that she stay at that school?
I want to say yes, only because Gabe is going there in the special needs class that he's in. He's really doing great in, and it would probably make the argument of it'd be better to have her there too. So if in the event he had a breakdown or something like that, at least she's right there and he knows her and is comfortable with her, and she can do what she can to calm him down until either myself or my wife get there.
How academically is Lauren doing right now in school?
She's doing good. She has her moments, but she's still in the learning process.
So you haven't had any issues academically?
No, it's a little frustrating sometimes when we try and teach her things because she tends to act like she doesn't know what she's doing, or it almost seems like she's looking for that, oh, I figured it out, but to us, we know she already knows the answer. So it can be frustrating, a little irritating, but overall, we're still happy to know that she knows it. We just wish that she would just come out and be like, hey, this is what it is, when she's asked what the question.
Tell me, is this something that occurs on a regular basis, or is this...
It's pretty much on a daily basis.
How do you and your wife handle that?
If she starts to get in that mode where it says, I don't know what I'm doing or whatever, then tell her to take a breather. If she starts pitching a fit about it, we'll have her take a break in her room, let her settle down, then we'll bring her back in, and then we'll start from square one. We'll try and break it down as easily as possible for her, whether we know she knows it or not. So that way, it can be like, okay, these are the steps. This is how you get from point A to point B, which is your answer. And, eventually she gets there. And then when she does, say, see, it's not that hard. We know you know it. You've done this before. Just keep doing it. And, we tell her how, by showing us that you know it is, better than sitting here acting like you don't know it when we know you do. So, like I said, it's frustrating, but at the same time, we know she knows it, which is what we want for her anyways.
I know with my own child, I have those issues as well. It's not an everyday thing, but it does occur. In my situation, I do try to provide positive reinforcement. And it sounds like you and your wife are doing the same, that when after you do explain what's going on and Lauren does understand the concepts, you are trying to reinforce with positivity versus negativity. How does she handle that situation? When you guys are giving her positive reinforcement, is she excited that she's gotten it, or is she still down on herself?
It seems like she's more down on herself, but at the same time, she's a little, I got it. I think it's more the process in which it goes through for the answer to finally come out that she acts in the manner that she does. But, I mean, I just...
Now, you say the process, is that because it takes a long time, or is that because you break it down so simple? Why do you think it's the process that makes it frustrating?
I'd say the process, in that we know she knows the answer. We ask her the question. She doesn't give us the answer. She acts like she has no idea what the answer is. And then we have to go through the process of, okay, now what's this or what's that? Like if it's a word, okay, what's this letter make? What's this letter make? What do these two letters make? And by the time we finally get the answer to come out, she's already in a down place because she thinks that she doesn't know, or I don't exactly know what she's feeling. She doesn't verbally express how she feels. She just starts whining and potentially crying. And then that's when we tell her to go take a break in her room or sit there, take a deep breath, whatever, until we can finally get through to her.
So it sounds like one of the major issues we should possibly talk about next time would be the approach that you guys maybe take with Lauren in doing homework. It sounds like you're trying to be positive, but at times can maybe be a little frustrated yourself, and those emotions can display through how you're talking to her with homework, or just your body language in general. So maybe more positive reinforcement would be something that I would suggest. Instead of just verbal, maybe a positive reward when she gets something. I know in my home, what we do is we sometimes reward with something just as small as mini M&Ms. So maybe when Lauren is getting a word right, or when she's getting a letter right, reward with positivity instead of breaking it down into every little moment. Give positive for each moment that you're breaking it down.
That's probably a better idea, actually. Hey, you got this many problems. We've got this stuff here for you. Once you get the problem right, here's this.
Yes.
So this probably is a better idea.
So what I recommend you working on between now and the time we meet again is positive reinforcement with Lauren. Keep showing your face at school, because it sounds like that time that you have there, that 20 minutes with you and your wife, is really making a huge impact on not only the situation with the bully, but how she perceives the school environment.
Mm-hmm.
So continue doing that, and then see if you can give some positive reinforcement for homework. Maybe that will make a change in how she is perceiving homework. It maybe won't be such a miserable time.
Yeah.
Homework's not always the fun.
No.
It's not the best stuff to do every day. But making it fun can turn it into something that kids enjoy versus making that time where they dread.
Mm-hmm.
So we will meet again in another week. And I look forward to hearing how you have approached homework and how the bullying issues are going.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, well, we will set up a time, and thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.